Welcome, 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 everyone. We are here with Coach Harris. We are so excited to honor our coaches across the state of Texas. It is Black History Month, and we are going to recognize our Black coaches across the state in all sports. So without further ado, Coach Harris, I'm gonna let you take the stage. Please share with us who you are, how you got to where you're at right now.
Okay, well, man, I am DeMarcus Harris. I'm the head football coach, athletic coordinator at Mesquite. We actually made Black History last year, when I took the job. So first time there was a Black head coach, athletic coordinator. Our girls coordinator was an African-American and our principal was an African-American. So we were the last. I think I got there like 20, it was like the last day, and we made Black History Month, made that time, so it was a good deal. Well, for me, very, very humble beginnings. From East Texas, a little small town, Pittsburgh, Texas. Grew up really, really rough, tough life. Probably at about 7th grade, I was on my own, homeless. I lived with friends throughout my town. People, they took care of me. They made sure I was eating, I could play sports, I could do all those things. The town just kind of helped me out. Dad was incarcerated, mom was on drugs, and which they're both doing great now. I have a great relationship with them. I talk to my mom every day, every single day I talk to her. She's the greatest woman ever, to go from the deepest, darkest places in the world to one of the most positive people in the world. So it's awesome. And that's part of my motivation. But I got kicked off of every team I'd ever been on. In the 9th grade year, play football, get kicked off. 10th grade year, they let me come back out. I get kicked off. Junior year, same thing with basketball. I get kicked off every year. I was struggling with authority. I was raising myself, so I didn't feel like I needed to answer to anybody. I made the decisions for myself. I signed my own report cards. I got my lunches ready to go. I got my lunch for field trips and all those things. So it was hard for me to let somebody tell me what to do. And then, my senior year, we got a new coach, Gary Luttrell, and they put some things in place. I went and worked for a guy who's still my mentor today. Everybody at the school seemed like they wanted to help me out, help me get to the next level. Tarla Bates, a counselor at Pittsburgh High School, and she helped me fill out my paperwork to go to college. So it was awesome. And I end up a guy sleeping in abandoned houses to one of the best colleges in the world, at Austin College. It's the Harvard of the South. So I go in, I start to, I kind of get those blinders taken off. There's kids that are my age that are living a little different than I am. So I started to understand those things, and I had a lot of great people at Austin College, David Norman. Those guys took me in, took care of me. They were what I needed at the time. Then I get out, I graduate, and I get a job at DeSoto, as a middle school coach. Leave DeSoto, go to Hillcrest. That's where I really learned how to coach, how to work. I was taping ankles, getting ice ready. I did it all, strength and conditioning. I coached the linebackers, I assisted O-line, and left there and went to Little Elm. And, we were doing all this work at Hillcrest. And I remember in a meeting, I texted the coaches at Hillcrest and said, hey, we're having a conversation about what color pants we're going to wear. Not who's going to take the ice in and do all those things. So went to Little Elm, left Little Elm and went to Seguin, Arlington Seguin, with Carlos Lynn, game changer. Carlos Lynn, Stephen Halford, Vincent Green, those guys were African-American men that were doing it right in the profession, showed me how it needed to be done and how to grow in the profession. I was still wanting to be, I'm a young coach, and I still love the streets because that's what I knew. And so as I kind of got around those guys, I was like, man, what a great profession. I've always felt like I was always a great coach and a great role model, but I felt like Carlos Lynn and Stephen Halford and Vincent Green took it to the next level. just watching those guys work and how they did things. One of my friends got a job at Richardson High. We had talked about this when we were in college. Like, if you get a job, I'm coming with you. I was like, all right, man, I'm on the way. So I go there and go with him to Richardson High. I'm the defensive coordinator. We lose every game, right? We lose every game, but we played really good defense. I was the defensive coordinator. Did a great job with Carlos Lynn. Carlos Lynn gets the Cedar Hill job. Tells us, hey, y'all want to hire you as a defensive coordinator at Cedar Hill. I was like, well, man, I'm on the way. So I get to Cedar Hill, and man, it takes off. My career really takes off, and I get to coach some great players and be around a great program. And the tradition, the eye, the pressure, who you're going against is just amazing. I mean, it was a great place for me. We get all the way to the state championship 4 years later. Play against Katy, we lost the game, but what a great experience, what a great ride. And then being around some great men in that room, like 5 or 6 of us are head coaches. But man, the fraternity, what we do for kids, is just awesome deal for us. And teachers and coaches saved my life, and I've been trying to give back since 7th, 8th grade. I feel like I owe the world to teachers and coaches. But that's my life story, kind of in a nutshell, right there.
Man.
Now I'm the head coach of Mesquite High, obviously.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a full story that needs to be told. And so many people need to hear this. Now, along the way, you mentioned all of these names. You mentioned all of these people that helped you. Talk a little bit about the importance of having these mentors, having these people opening doors and inviting you into these spaces that otherwise, I don't know, would you have had those opportunities?
I don't think so. Just being around these guys, and I've learned at every spot that I've been at. I've learned a lot, but just watching a Carlos Lynn work a room, and everybody come up and talk to him, and because he does it the right way, and watching David Norman over at Austin College and those guys, just watching how they move and how they work, and understanding there's a side of athletics that's not just about ball. It's about, selling your program, selling yourself, and figuring out ways to help your kids. But I think everybody needs to have those mentors, or have a group of people that they can lean on and reach out to, which I've created a Zoom for, first year, second year, third year head coaches, where we bounce ideas off of each other weekly. And, it turned out, it was going to be professional development, and then it ends up being therapy, because there's not a lot of people that are going through what you're going through. And they're going through the same things. You think it's just you, and then you mention it and go, man, I'm going through that too. But, there's a lot of people, man. Joe Martin at Texas High School Coaches Association, those guys have done a great job of including everybody, all different races, women, all those things with the mentor program and reaching out, which they really didn't understand until they got a Carlos Lynn or Kendall Miller and those guys on the board, or Anthony Chris, got those guys on the board where they're like, hey, what about this side of Texas High School Coaches Association? So I think you got to have it. You got to have mentors in this game. If you really love it, and your passion is truly to help kids, you'll stay in this thing. I see guys get out all the time, and I just kind of shake my head. It's like, man, maybe you were in it for the wrong reasons. I know I want to help kids and help communities and those things. So, but definitely you need those people.
Yeah, absolutely. That's I know that's something Lizette and I talk about, especially when we were planning the transition. I know this was my first year being out. I coached last fall, so I guess that'd be the fall of 21. I coached, so the fall of 22 was my first one out, and understanding, the importance of what we do in the profession, right? The sideline is more than just X's and O's. The schematics is all fine and dandy. You can go to a billion clinics and learn how to draw up a play. But the real work, as you've mentioned, is learning how to deal with the person behind that X or that O, right? And learn how to
Right.
deal with drawing it.
Right.
I
We need
appreciate
guys like you. We need guys like you didn't get out. You're still in the profession. You're still helping kids and helping babies. And man, you're in a spot in Fort Worth where, man, they need you. You know, they need you everywhere, but you know, they really need you. Just to open their eyes to opportunities. Without education, man, where would I be? Where would you be?
exactly.
You know. So I think, man, you know, it's just what we've been called to do.
Yes, absolutely. We need more, many more, like you said. And so one of the questions I want to ask, because I know you mentioned it, you all have those meetings with the first, second, and third year coaches, and you know just how it kind of, you started off as one, and then it just kind of morphed into some therapy. So what I want to talk to you about, really, I want you to dive into is how you practice self-care. You know, and it's really connected to the idea that well coaches coach well. And we're not lobbing out indictments, but we're all certainly going to mail out as many invitations as possible. But we know, and you see it when you look across the field, you're like, oh, okay, we got him. He already having that first tantrum. You know, if you can get him to the tantrum, and by the second series, the game's over. You know that. Just stuff we watch, right? So talk about how you practice self-care, coach.
Man, I am one of those guys that coach like my hair's on fire. But you know, I do understand the game. When we're playing the game, you know, I'm the guy that's making the decisions. So man, I do a lot of, you know, I meditate, and I do a lot of reading and those things about, you know, always forward thinking, doing those things, especially in the game. But outside of the game, just making sure, man, I try to make sure I'm eating right. I make sure I'm getting sleep. I make sure my family's involved. I make sure my coaches' families are involved in the program. I don't ever turn away a coach's kid or a coach's family or anything they want to do for their family. Man, it's go do it. I just think you're right, man. A well coach coaches well. You can get that energy and that juice from those guys because you're taking care of them. I want to take care of myself, but I also want to take care of all my coaches and everything around it. You know, I want to, you know, if you like to eat, we're going to eat. If you like to work out, we'll work out. And so if you like to clinic, we'll clinic. And, you know, just making sure you're checking on everybody and letting them know it's more than just about ball, you know, caring about those guys as people. But, you know, you need that wife that understands too. You know, you need that wife and that family to understand, like, hey, man, I need your support. I need you, you know, having those conversations with them and then taking care of them and not neglecting them. Because, you know, my wife supports everything that I do, you know, all my climbs. She was just like, go do it. I've done everything I needed to do and you go do you. So that's been a great help for me. It's been awesome.
That's awesome. That's awesome to hear. And being a coach's kid, a coach's wife, and then a coach at the same time, I was coaching volleyball and he was coaching football. You know, it was rough. It was rough.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same season.
That's right.
So
Y'all don't ever get to see each other.
no, the fall was always crazy. And I made the decision to get out first because our son started participating in sports. And I knew that one of us needed to be with him.
Right.
So went full-time coach's wife for a couple of years, and it was fantastic because I had no obligation.
That's right.
But I got to spend
right.
a lot of time with our son as he was growing then, and got to see him become a ball boy. And that was a really cool,
awesome
experience for him. Because if you ask him right now, he doesn't know anything about football, and that's been intentional too. But
he'll be better for it.
Yes. So it's been good, but what are some of the obstacles, Coach? I know what are and I say obstacles or challenges that you've faced as you've ascended in this profession?
Well, man, I think we always talk about, you know, it's who you know, but it's really not who you know. It's who knows you. And I think that was kind of the thing that a lot of the guys that are in my circle that are now head coaches, African-American head coaches, you know, we put ourselves in position for those guys to know us. Of course, we're going to do a great job in ball, but also, going to clinics, speaking at clinics, getting next to the guys that can get you in the room, because it's not just going to be the African American coach that can get you in the room. It's going to be everybody. It's got to be somebody that's got a connection with you, somebody that knows you, that knows a guy that's on the panel or can get you into the room. I think that's the obstacle that we're all facing, and not just African American, but everybody. You better get out and about, and people better know who you are. You got to kind of build your brand and grow your brand, and those things. I think for a lot of times that me was just about who knows me. I think for some guys is they want to be a head coach so bad. I always thought I was ready. But when the year that I got the job, I knew I was ready. It wasn't any thinking. I knew I was ready. I could handle parents. I can handle community service. I can handle discipline. I can handle all those things now because I was with somebody that allowed me to do it. And so I think that was more of everything. Just get where the people know who you are.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's what do they say? It's not who you know, it's who knows you, and then who will bring your name up in a space where you are not present.
That's right.
That's right. That's critical. That's critical. We're not, we used to talk about trying to get allies. Well, I need a conspirator.
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
All right. Well, let me ask you another one. And this will be a slight shift a little bit. A slight shift. This is the banner question right here, Coach. I got to ask it.
Yeah.
How does Coach Harris build great ancestors?
Man, I love giving back I love this game. I love high school. I love sports. I love everything about not just football, but just high school sports in general. So I make sure, man, I'm growing my coaches. I'm reaching out to young people. I'm doing Zooms. I'm talking to coaches. I'm pouring into everybody I can pour into about this profession. Man, even with my son, my son and I, we ride to work every day. And, I thought he wanted to be like me. And then he says, well, I want to be like Coach Samples, the son, right? So I want to recruit kids and do this and that. I'm like, okay, all right. So, man, I saw Coach Samples, and he's at Arizona State now. Hey, man, my son wants to talk to you. Oh yeah, Coach. Man, he recruits our school, so it was perfect. So, but again, just him wanting to be in the sport. The guys on my staff really growing and helping those guys reach their dreams and goals. Also, I think we can't keep all this information to ourselves. I think the more we give it to everybody else, it's going to help with good ancestors. And then your players, man. I hired 2 guys that I coached in high school. And I told them in high school, hey, if you get your coaching stuff, I'll hire you. And I'm going to definitely keep my word. And I told them, I got 3 or 4 other guys that are in college right now. They're going to get done. They're going to be teachers and coaches. And what a great profession. You're going to be grateful. You've been through some things. You can talk to the kids. You're going to love it. So.
That's awesome. I think that that's the part that I miss. I miss that 100% is working with the kids. That's probably been the hardest part of this transition. But I also understand that now I'm not only on one campus, I'm at the district level, and I can impact multiple campuses. Right. So it's helping with that, that transition. So as you help these coaches that are with you, what is some advice that you would give to the aspiring Black coach that is entering this profession? Because we're struggling, right? We're struggling to get teachers and coaches in education. What are some words of advice and encouragement that you would give these young people as they graduate from college and want to enter this profession?
Understand your why. Understand your why. If you're getting in this thing and you're thinking you're going to make it's about money, or it's about I get summers off, then you're in it for the wrong reason. Yeah, because you're not gonna get summers off and you're not gonna get rich. But you're talking about the impact. Like, it's National Signing Day, and I got kids calling me saying, Coach, I can't thank you enough. I mean, kids that were walking the building that we pulled out, and now they get to change their family's life. You know, understand your why. Why are you getting into this profession? It's not about money. It's not about the vacation days and all, because you're going to work on those days, whether you want to or not. And so, and I always tell them, like, man, it's such a great profession. Like, it's not business with us; it's personal. Like, we're helping kids and changing lives and changing families, and man, we're changing family trees. Mine changed instantly. My family tree just changed. And so getting those guys to understand, like, why you're in this, man. Don't get in, yeah, it's gonna be tough your first, 1 to 5 years, but you make it past that, and you should make it past that. You can do it. And man, you get to really make a big impact on your community, on somebody's community. And I think we just need to, I talk to them all about it. I don't want it to go away. Like, I love the profession. It's done so much for me. And so I try to make sure those people understand, like, the passion, the love, the care, the impact that you're making on lives.
Absolutely. I feel all of that. All of that. And then one last question, Coach. What are you, okay, maybe two questions.
That's good. I got all day. Like, we're snowed in, or iced in.
You're right. What are you reading right now?
I am reading one word is one of the things that I'm in right now. Yeah. I like the word stuff. So
you see our paintings back there.
Uh-huh.
Those are, when we read that book back in 2017, and there's some on the other side of the wall, on the other side of the house, every January 1st, we sit together as a family and we paint our word for the year. And then we just post them along in our house. So we have pictures and paintings. That's it.
Awesome.
But that's a constant reminder that book, life-changing.
Yes.
Life-changing. And I think William has one more question.
Look, this is a serious question, Coach, and I gotta lean in. I want you to understand the seriousness of this. Okay, this is stronger than 4th and 1. No timeouts left. And this, I gotta hold you to it now. I need your top 3 lists of your favorite, the all-time favorite rap groups.
Groups or people?
Group.
Rap groups. Man.
Hip-hop, rap. I'm gonna let you.
Hip-hop. But we gotta go with groups.
I'm gonna bench from this other stuff. Yeah.
No, I got you. We gotta go with groups, man. My number one is probably gonna be UGK. Got when we're talking about groups, Pimp C and Bun B. I mean, you talking about just cold. They're cold. I'm really like groups. Man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Groups see, now I gotta think about, like, the Hot Boys, Cutlass, Monte Carlos, and Regals. Man, let's see who else. I say Outkast is up there too. I say those 3: Outkast, UGK, and probably the Hot Boys. Because I gotta have some Wayne in my top 3.
There you go. See, I've asked that question I don't know how many times now, and every time folks be like, well, look, I don't know if I can give you 3. I can give you 4. Just pulling up. They pulling up. But no, that's phenomenal, Coach, and we appreciate you. I agree with you on that, UGK.
Yes, sir.
You gotta
Riding dirty, baby.
Yeah, you gotta have it. That Riding Dirty was life-changing back in 95.
Yes.
That's my bad. Look, we out here eating that free world steak and shrimp. But anyway,
that's right.
It's phenomenal. We appreciate you, Coach. Now tell the folks how they can connect with you. You got a social media presence a little bit. Talk to us.
I got DeMarcus Harry It's no S on it. 01 at Twitter.
Okay.
Then Skeeter Recruits. Man, I'm trying to put Mesquite back on the map. Keep that thing hot and keep that thing in people's life. And then helping our kids out. So anything Mesquite football on Instagram, Skeeter Recruits on Twitter, and then my own is DeMarcus Harry 01. So man, that's how you can reach out, and then DM if you need something, truly need something, need somebody to talk to, holler at me.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Coach, for joining us. We're going to make sure that everyone gets to see this, and we've got some more information for you. So hang on really quick. We're going to stop our recording. But thank you.
Appreciate y'all.